So hi everyone, my name is Evgeny Shvarov. I'm manager of Circle Program and Community in InterSystems, and here is a kickoff of InterSystems Python programming contest. So today we just want to encourage you developers to contribute in the next 2 and 3 weeks your fantastic applications built with Python. InterSystems technology, and it could be submitted as open source, and you will have all our experts exploring them and voting for the best to win InterSystems contest, and of course to make the world a better place, for sure. And today we have a pleasure to have several engineers and experts from InterSystems whom I will pass the floor very recently. Really will do it now to share some ways how you can develop your solutions with the embedded Python and with Python along with InterSystems technology. And also we will discuss which bonuses you could follow and which strategy you could follow to like win and to add some handicap to your solution using bonuses. And maybe we'll discuss all your questions if we have time. So great. Now I have a pleasure to introduce Guillaume Rongier. Guillaume, the floor is yours. Please share your inspiring story. Okay.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. I would like to show you just a few slides and few examples for you today. So first of all, let's start with this bad boy. Python and IRIS. That's the main, that's the beginning of a loving story. We start to work with Python at InterSystems like 2 years ago, and it was about embedded Python. And for people who don't know embedded Python, I just would like to introduce you to it in one slide. What is the difference between embedded Python and native Python? Embedded Python brings you the ability to run Python code directly in the kernel of IRIS. Usually, when you work with Python application, you run your Python code outside of IRIS. For this contest, I would like to emphasize on embedded Python. And for example, instead of developing your application with SQL Alchemy and put your URL IRIS, IRIS, POR, and namespace, you can use IRIS plus embedded. I really wish that people that work in this contest try to build Python first application and leveraging embedded Python the most as I can. For that, we'll build you a template. And in this template, I will show you one example. The Docker file. The Docker file changed now. It changed here, in fact. We introduced 2 new ways to build Docker images for this contest. And these new ways start with these 2 lines. The first line is the merge CPF file that helps you to configure IRIS. And the second one, it's a Python script. Usually when we work with IRIS, we run object script command. But for this contest, we would like you to use only Python, almost non-object script command. So for that, let me show you. The merge CSP file, it's here to help you to create the databases, the namespace, and do some modification about securities. Next, let's have a look to the IRIS script. Now the IRIS script, it's a pure Python file. There is no object script line. And it's quite similar to what we used to work with for a long time. We call it IRIS script, and you can tell it's almost the same. Side by side, it looks like that. You remember, we change the namespace and change the security of the users. It's exactly the same here. You can even install modules through ZPM, IPM. And why I would like to show you this example, it provides you an example how to load data in IRIS through CSV file and SQL Alchemy with embedded Python, not Python. Okay. Here is some ideas I would like to you guys, if you like from ideas, here is some. I would like to see how you can embed Django, Flask, FastAPI as a REST backend application with and on embedded Python. Also, if you can we have an example of a Whiskey implementation on CSP? Whiskey, if you don't know it, it's the main way to create and to serve REST API in Python. Also, maybe some benchmarks, some interoperability module, adapter, operation, whatever, or extend IRIS to other software like Apache Superset, already been done by Dimitri. Same with DBT, but we have Dagster, Apache Airflow, PDFco, and so. Bonus. This is the first time, I guess. Tell me if I'm wrong, Evgeny. We have bonus point for bug reports. If you, at some point, encounter a bug with embedded Python or even Python in IRIS, you can submit bug to this Git repository. Each time you will submit a bug and we qualify it as one, you might have bonus points for your project. That's it for me. Thank you for your attention. If you have any question, maybe I can answer them now.
Yes, thank you, Guillaume, very much. Everyone who is on the call, you're so welcome to ask your questions because first of all, this kickoff is for you, developers. Please don't hesitate. Provide your questions in the chat or let's say it out loud at any moment. Okay.
If you are watching it as a recording, you can ask questions directly on Discord. We will do our best to answer them.
The link to Discord will be provided, and of course, ask questions on developer community to this topic, and the topic will be provided as well. Okay, thank you. So now I invite another expert from InterSystems, Alex Woodhead. The floor is yours, please.
Hi, right, let me first share. Okay. So one of the areas of getting information into and out of IRIS with SQL could be with stored procedures. And if this is your expertise area and you'd like to explore the product by using this approach, what I've come up with is a way of a pattern that I would have used in ObjectScript that I've rewritten for Python. So we have the reference documentation here. I have okay, so here's an overview of on the left where you might use a web framework that's using ODBC SQL to connect to a database. What I'm showing here is stored procedure can actually be used as a gateway to other things. So we have globals, multi-dimensional stores, which are sort of below a table construct. And stored procedure can also be used as a gateway into an integration to connect with external services and return and construct a result set to be consumed by a web application. Let me just switch to the screen. Okay, I will share this code in an article. So I've got the link documentation earlier. This is an IRIS class definition. So this would be for ObjectScript developers a typical way of writing a query. You may implement SQL statements in here. If you want to get further control, when this compiles, it will create 4 methods or 3 methods. There's an execute, there's a fetch, and there's a close. Now, because it creates these methods, it gives an opportunity to start doing things in Python instead of ObjectScript. The first 2 methods here, execute, fetch, and close, they are actually the ObjectScript. There's a limitation with using by reference, but with minimal amount of code, I can call into a Python implementation. And so what this method is doing, it's looking at a set of multi-dimensional data, and it wants to turn this into a tabular view, which reports within a particular tab some notes that recorded, and also to also capture where tabs are empty. So don't worry, this code is shared. I just point out some important things that it's doing. We're using a try catch block. And the utility of this is in your method. So I'm going to introduce a divide by 0 error. And when I run this, it's going to capture from the trace in the Python context and feed that back into wherever I'm capturing the status as normal. So that might be reported to your front end. So this should help you iterate with your Python code. Another point I'd like to make here is in the execute, I'm doing a check on character 0 is a null. Since I think this was a change in 2009, the null character had moved to an empty string, but there's a few areas where it will still come through. So that's what this is about. We're just converting that to an empty string for the code to run. In here is some example code of referring to a global, which is like a persistent multi-dimensional array, and it iterates looking for the first and the second key and retrieving the data. So yeah, that's mainly the things I wanted to share today. That this, instead of being a global, it could be calling into an integration, could be doing REST requests to some external API and creating this list. If I also, let me just, to make this example a little easier, what I have done is created my own types for the Q handle, which is a context between asking for the next row. This is information that can be updated. It's like your bookmark to retrieving data. And also between the Python context and the wrapper, I've got named properties just to make the example easier to understand. And as we can see here, this is just repacking from those named properties from Python into this IRIS list, which is consumed by the IRIS database. Okay, I will release this code as an article to help Are there any questions, or if you think about questions afterwards, please add them to the Discord or to the article.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. Thanks you so much. Developers, you are so welcome to ask questions out loud or in the chat here in Zoom. Okay, there are no questions so far, and thank you, Alex. Now I invite Luis Angel Pérez to step in and present some more inspiring ideas of what you can do with
Sure.
IRIS.
Thank you very much, Evgeny, for having me today here. And let me introduce myself a bit. My name is Luis Pérez, and I'm a sales engineer in Iberia, or Spain, really. Well, to be sincere, my experience working with Python is really, really poor. I just started to work with Python when I was hired by InterSystems the past year. My background is like a Java developer. I have been working like 16 years like a Java developer. And this is one of the wonders of Python. You don't need to have a huge experience working with this technology to participate in this contest. I'm going to show you 2 examples that I did this year based on embedded Python and in IRIS technology. Let me share my screen. Okay. Just a second, because I have to open the Chrome. Here is. I guess that many of you already knows this web page. This is the Open Exchange page where any developer can upload their applications based on IRIS and Python. And this is my account. You can see here 2 of these applications that I uploaded. The first one, known as Nomenclator, it's using embedded Python to recognize faces. I really don't have any idea how to encode all these methods to recognize the faces saved into a file. What I did was directly look for in Google how to recognize faces files in Python. I grabbed the first web page, copy all the code, and paste it into IRIS. Let me show you, for example, the GitHub of this project. You will see here it's all decorized, so you can grab this example and clone into your PC or laptop and make it run. You will see here the code of directly the project. This is the product. Sorry. Right. Oh, sorry. I think that I uploaded all in XML in this example. Yes, it's on XML. This is not a good example, but you will see if you install it that all the code is copy and paste for a web page with all the Python information, and it's working. You can feed this project with some pictures, and you will see how it's working and how it's recognizing faces, and it's extremely easy to use. As you can see here in the Docker Compose, you will see what containers it's using. It's just using IRIS because it's working with embedded Python. And if you open the Docker related, sorry, you can see here the instructions to install the Python into the IRIS container, and how to install all the required libraries that it's using. You can see here what libraries it's using on this file, and all the list of the libraries that it's using. It's really, really easy to use. Well, the other example, sorry, because I can't see the bar of my Chrome because I am sharing. Wait a second. Yes. Okay, the second application, it's this Quiniela ML. This is a project. The idea of this project is to predict soccer results of the Spanish first division and second division, in order to predict some bets of the Quiniela. This is a typical Spanish game that you have to predict the result of the matches. And the idea was to get some information and grab this information and save into the database from an external web page. In this case, I found out a web page with all the historic results of the Spanish league. And again, I went to Google and searched how to do web scraping with Python. And literally, I grabbed this library, copy the code, and paste into my object-script method. Let me show you the example of the code. Oops, this is another one. This application, it's a front end based on Angular, an application in Angular developed, and the back end, it's all based on IRIS technology. I'm going to show you some of the methods. For example, to import all this historical data, you can see here the method responsible to execute this web scraping. Extremely easy to use. We are using some of these libraries that we have imported, that, like in the previous example, we have defined here what really we need for this functionality. And we just execute whatever we want. We are just doing the web scraping, so we are reading literally all the HTML of the web page. We are grabbing off all the values that we need for our data model, and we are saving it using the IRIS library for Python in order to use one of the objects that we have created. So this is a good example of the use of embedded Python, not the native Python, because as I said before, I am not a Python developer. So I encourage any developer to participate in this contest, because you don't need a deep knowledge about Python. I don't know if anyone have some doubts. If you can answer any question, please ask me. So Evgeny, your turn.
Thank you so much, Luis. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, a quick question: if your model will work also on Champions League, that will start soon.
Yeah, sure. If I have the historical results, I can do it.
Okay. Any questions so far? So again, please don't hesitate to step in and raise your question out loud. I see Dmitry joined us. Dmitry, do you have any questions to the contest? Yes, you can share your questions in chat too. So while there are no questions, we will go through the structure of the contest. So I will share my screen now. Okay, can you see my screen? Yeah, hope you do. So I'm on a developer community site. And so on the right, you can see the page dedicated to events and InterSystems Python contest here. So all the posts related to the contest can be found here. Just a quick recap that, yeah, we will be having $14,000 as money prizes, split to two categories: experts nomination and community nomination. Yes, and for the expert nomination, we have an internal set of experts, a committee of jury of experts. Some of them are here on this call. They are InterSystems product managers and engineers experienced in development IRIS applications and Python applications for a long time. And also, and for community prizes, every community member can vote and pick the best application he or she likes. Okay, what else can help you to win? It's a set of what we call technology bonuses for InterSystems Python contest. And let's quickly go through these bonuses. Yeah, and that means that there will be points. So once expert will vote, you will have several points or for voting, and of course you can check get more points completing these requirements. So if you use embedded Python, what is embedded Python is listed here, you will get 3 points more. Also, in addition to embedded Python, we have Python native API library. It's an implementation of DB API for InterSystems IRIS. So if you use this tool, you get 3 points more. As Guillaume mentioned previously about interoperability options with IRIS in Python, yes, it is called Python PEX interoperability. So this is the basic Python PEX library, but also you can leverage some community libs, and there are several examples that Guillaume provided listed here. Like, for example, let me see. Yeah, it's interoperability embedded Python. This could be a basic foundational project for your interoperability solution in Python with IRIS. Okay, what else? So also, as Guillaume mentioned, we have 2 years history of Python support in InterSystems IRIS, and through that community, our noble community introduced several libs to support Python applications on IRIS. One is SQL Alchemy, and we have the author of this library, Dmitry Maslenikov here. Dmitry, thank you. Very powerful library, SQL Alchemy for IRIS. Yes, and yes, please go ahead and use it. It will save you a lot of time and give you a lot of power to bring SQL Alchemy features to InterSystems IRIS. And another project, again, introduced by Dmitry, DBT. If you plan to introduce DBT functionality support to IRIS. So if you use this, you can collect 2 points per each library usage. Then, so of course, we now in the middle of the huge trend in maybe revolution in how to develop applications, and we have a lot of engines of generative AI, long language models, and LangChain. And if you use any of such libraries listed here, or any what appeared new, so you could also collect 4 points more. Next thing is pure Python. That means no objects or another in object script line. So, and this is what Guillaume was speaking about today in his first session, his first entry. That if you submit a pure Python application and that doesn't use object script code, so you could obtain 5 points. There is small note here, so of course you can use object script classes, like files that contain information about persistent data, and methods with Python implementation, but not with object script implementation. And we submitted, we prepared a template that IRIS embedded Python template that could be a good foundation for you if you want to follow no object script approach, like a pure Python application. Also, we prepared a questionnaire for you. It's similar like last year, so we want to see the trends. How are we performing with Python support? And you please submit it and collect 2 points more. And some usual suspects is build it on Docker, get 2 points, use IPM, so it's ZPM, so we'll change it to IPM. So it's a InterSystems Package Manager library. So to be able to deploy it easily on any IRIS. Online demo will give you 2 points more. Also, there is a site of InterSystems ideas with community status. So where we say, okay, here is what we give community to implement. Implement this idea, get 4 more points, and contribute article and videos, you get some points more. And besides that, as we discussed today, we will shortly introduce an experimental bonus point line that is states submit as a bug. Submit as a bug in embedded Python and get 2 points more. And this is not, so you cannot submit 10 bugs and get 20 points. It's only one bug, one opportunity, but you are so welcome to submit all of them. So, but for one, at least for one, we will give you 2 points. And this will be reviewed, of course, so only proven bugs will be counted. Okay, any questions to the moment? So I see we have some questions in the chat, yeah. Zion was asking, what about performance while using performance? And Guillaume, do you want us like provide an audio answer?
Sure. Answer it in the chat. Can you hear me? Yes. Is that okay? Okay. I answer it in the chat. So for people who will maybe not able to see the chat, in fact, we are pretty fast with embedded Python because we work in the kernel of IRIS. So maybe quickly, just to show you an example, a quick example.
Yeah, sure.
It's not because I've done it, you don't have to do it. And you can do it by yourself. But that's a Jupyter notebook, just to compare IRIS and Redis. Just a benchmark, it inserts 100,000 random values and read it back. It just key value pairs. You see, connection key value, return connection key. That's Redis benchmark on my laptop. That's IRIS benchmark on my laptop.
Very impressive.
Yes, we are pretty fast, but please do it yourself. Try to build benchmark around SQL or stuff like that. And if it's not fast, let us know. We would like to know it.
You see, we are not saying don't repeat it at home. We are saying repeat it at home.
Exactly.
Okay, any more questions? And so now actually it's time for conversation, discussion. Yeah, what maybe you have thought, any doubts, thoughts, questions, whatever. I'm also curious, what do you think about our idea, report the bug and get some points? Dima is smiling. I think he already has 2 points in in his pocket. Okay, so for that. Okay, we have a question. Yeah, Tian is asking, can you introduce more about the IRIS platform? Like, is there anything we as Python developers should be aware of? With this, I give the floor to Guillaume.
Thanks to being here. we are looking for people that don't know anything about Iris and just want to try to work with it with Python only. For that, I encourage you more than ever to use our template. I will share again my screen and share in the chat the template. So here it is in the chat. And I
Can
will
see
share my
it.
screen to everyone.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
template.
it's
That's
chat.
the place you want to start. And after, okay, that's the one. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
That's the one. So please, if you are new to Iris, if you want to work with Python on Iris, start here. We do have few examples in Python here. A Flask example, an Iris app with silly things you can play around. We do have a community, a very active community. So ask questions there and also on Discord. And we are looking forward for your feedback.
And Guillaume, maybe it makes sense to share to show how it works. So for example, I can do that if you want. So yeah, like how to clone it and what to run. Okay, I will do it in just 1 minute. No, okay. So okay, I need InterSystems. Yes, this is the template we are talking about. So once you clone it, so you can, if you can just run the Docker Compose or use the VS Code shell to run it. So it will build the image, hopefully in a it's pretty fast. Then you can, as Guillaume mentioned, you can open shell in a Docker here, yes, and you can go and follow README and see, okay, what can I do here? So actually, this does this thing, so this menu. So basically, I can call iris Python here and run the /Python script, which is here, /Python, this file, and enter. So, and it says hello world, it works and everything else. So it interacts inside with Iris. So it's called its methods and creates a record in database and as Guillaume said, does some silly things, but useful to understand how it all works. And with Flask, so also we can run Flask, for example. If we go here to the end, yeah, and we can take this, yes, and run it here. Sorry, I need to place dot here. It doesn't allow for here. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Python Flask /app. Boom, we have a Flask server, and then we can go this menu and open it. It says hello world. Yes, and then we can call through whatever service, some REST API calls, and see how it works. So to add data and consume data from REST API that works against IRIS server. Yeah, I think this was like quite clear. So it's very simple, basic template, but it's a good starting point, as Guillaume said. And Zion also says, but I read the comparison between Redis and IRIS, and it's fascinating. Yeah, you can do a lot of fascinating things with IRIS because it is a platform with a lot of features, and it's very easy and simple to start doing anything with Python, we hope. Okay, comments, questions? Dmitry also shares fast API, SQL Alchemy, and Alembic examples, so we can in the chat. Thanks, Dima. Please follow this link. It's really also a really good starting point if you follow the like fast API. If you search, you can also find Django implementation with IRIS. More. Thanks, Dima. Okay, more questions, comments? So I think maybe it's good then. So I think I hope we inspired you enough. So today, great thanks to Guillaume, Alex, and Luis for sharing your experience with Python today. Thanks a lot, and thanks to everyone who came today to this InterSystems IRIS Python contest. And we are looking forward to see your open source submissions and wonderful applications and on Open Exchange. You have 2 weeks to submit it and 1 week to it will be voting week, and also a week to where you can improve and bug fix your applications. So good luck, and let's make the world a better place with Python and InterSystems IRIS. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.